Okay guys, first of all, I apologize for any stream interruption or abrupt interruption or bad connections I may get here. But you see the title of the video as I'm doing this live. I've got about, let me check, got about 7 to 10 minutes left. But I thought I'd give my thoughts on the announcement last night of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. The announcement made, of course, by Stephanie McMahon last night on Monday Night Raw. And basically the main event segment of Raw, basically the closing segment of Raw. Sorry for that bad. I think someone was on. Hold on. Bad connections. Hold on. Yeah, people might be on the phones or something. But anyway, I wanted to give my thoughts on that. And we had heard. Yeah, last night during basically the main event match was a 6-woman tag. That escalated into a brawl. That culminated with Stephanie McMahon coming out. That got everybody's attention. All the other women, I think, came out as well, because now basically the storyline in the women's division on the Raw side is you got the roster against Absolution. Almost similar, I guess, in a sense to what we saw recently on SmackDown Live, and maybe even tonight, with the SmackDown Women's Locker Room having it up to here with the Riot Squad. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, Stephanie McMahon comes down. This gets everybody's attention. They all stop fighting, and basically she gets in the middle of the ring and starts talking about how in the past 3 years the women's revolution has become an evolution, and that they've turned the Divas division into the women's division, and in these 3 years they have made history by having a women's Hell in a Cell, a women's Money in the Bank, and even acknowledging that the women, for the first time in WWE history, competed one-on-one in the Middle East for the women's championship. So she acknowledges all that. She talks about all that. You know, she mentions how little girls were crying or looking up to Sasha, and how the chant of "There is hope" rang out during the Middle East match in the Middle East. So basically she says, well, you know what? That's not enough. We can do more. We can make history once again. So she asked the crowd if they'd like to see it. The crowd responds like, yeah, we would like to see history made again. So she goes right there. And I'm honestly going to be honest to God, I think this is legitimate reactions, real legitimate reactions, real legitimate reactions, no characteristics, nothing. This is real, this is legitimate. Because basically Stephanie McMahon makes the announcement that on January 28th, we are going to have the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. Yeah, sorry, we're going to have the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. And again, the reaction by the ladies in the... But yeah, like I said, the reaction by the ladies there when she made that announcement, that was real. That was kind of like a real reality shoot reactions, because you had Bayley, you had Asuka, you had Mickie James, you know, you had Sasha, you had Nia, you had Alexa, you had Alicia, you had Mandy, you had Sonya, and you had Paige. And basically their reactions were all legit. I mean, you had Nia hugging Alexa, like, okay, wait a minute, those two are buddies we know, are kind of like on-screen buddies or frenemies, if you will, but that looks like a real legitimate friendship hug or whatever. Hold on for a sec. But basically that's a real life legitimate friendship hug. And basically the emotions were real, because I think when she made that announcement, that was a shoot. That was reality taking place. And yeah, basically that closed out Raw, and now we are getting that closed out Raw, and suffice to say, I like the idea. I really do. I mean, I think Deluxeman, he said it best. He thinks it's a great idea for this to happen. It's good timing. They got the women on the roster to do it on all three shows, if you want to put it that way. They got enough women, plenty of women on Raw. They got plenty of women, or enough women on SmackDown. You know, they got enough women, you know, down in NXT. You know, they got them there. They got plenty of women legends that could still actively go if they want to. Sorry about that, but what I was saying is basically, you know, they got enough women. So, you know, basically, they got enough women to do this. Even on all three shows, they have enough women to do this Royal Rumble match. They have enough. You know, they have enough women on Raw, apparently. They have enough women on SmackDown, in a way. They have enough women in and out, and if not permanently, on NXT. You know, they have plenty of women, alumni-wise, you know, former women wrestlers, diva wrestlers that can come in. You know, Hall of Famers that could be part of this. You know, they have a peripheral of women to do a 30-woman Royal Rumble. They do. They have plenty of women to do that. They have plenty of women to accomplish that goal. You know, currently with the company, you know, alumni with the company, Hall of Fame-wise, they have plenty of women to do it. Now, with that said, though, and let me check my time here. Yeah, I gotta get back to work. But that said, though, I know some of you are thinking, well, you can't include Alexa and Charlotte. They're currently the champions. Okay, let's take them out of the equation. You have maybe about 16 to 17 women. Well, let's say on average 16 women. So, what do you do with the 4 other slots? Well, the 4 other slots you could use for 2 NXT towns, 2 or 3 at which fans would love to see come to the main roster, even for this match. 2 or 3 women. And then, of course, you have the other 2 spots. One could be filled by a alumni or Hall of Famer, like let's say Alita or Trish. And then, of course, you got the speculation of Ronda showing up. And maybe even Shayna Baszler, who's going to be in NXT. The point is, the point I'm making is you got plenty of options to do a 20-woman Royal Rumble. You do. But if you expand it to maybe 30 to kind of even it out, equal it with the men, like they've been doing, like, hey, let's have equalness, you have plenty to go with there too. You have plenty of women, you know, associated with your company, even though they're not currently signed with it. Like, let's say, Candice LeRae, Mercedes Martinez, I think. You know, Kairi Sane, if you want to bring her up. I mean, imagine the reaction if Kairi Sane enters that Women's Royal Rumble. Even for this match you want to bring up. Imagine the reaction Kairi Sane would get. She gets in the ring, and the only other person in the ring, or the only other woman in the ring with her is Asuka. Imagine the reaction when those 2 would touch, even for this match. Even for a few moments. It would be insane. The point is, they got plenty of options of 20. They want to go the 20-woman route, and they got options if they want to go the 30-woman route. I mean, they've proven already in WrestleMania 25 that they can bring in the women if they need to. Like I said, even if they're currently not under contract to the company and they're still working independence, they can bring them in. They can bring them in and they can be part of this. And I think people would like that. I mean, imagine the reaction of, let's say they find a way to talk imagine the reaction if they're able to talk to Gail Kim. When she would come out, the place would explode, baby. Imagine the reaction if they got Victoria. Imagine the reaction if they got Angelina in Velvet. The point is, they have their options. They have the doors open to do this. you can't tell me Triple H ain't looking into all these other women that were in the Mae Young Classic, and even outside of the company that are interested in coming in as being possible participants, as well as, like I say, alumni and Hall of Famers like Alita and a Trish, maybe an Alonda Blaze if she's okay to go. You know, stuff like that. And of course, looking at the fact that you could have Ronda in there along with Sonya and Shayna. I mean, the possibilities either way are endless. But depending on what direction they go in, that's up to WWE. That is truly up to them. But all I can say is I am proud, I am happy for the women of WWE to finally get this opportunity. I know some people may be a little dismissive of the fact that you're making us sit through 2 Royal Rumble matches, possibly one in the middle and one headlining. I know some people feel dismissive about that. Some feel it may be a botch. It'll be instead of a Royal Rumble, it'll be a botcha Rumble. You know, I know some people feel that way, and I don't blame you for that, because normally when we've had women battle royals, the women, the only way they're eliminated is not over the top rope, but usually just right through the ropes and all that. So I understand your fears, but I think if you watch one of the recent NXT episodes when they were doing qualifying matches for the Fatal 4-Way that took place at Takeover War Games, one of them was a battle royal, and the women went over the top rope, not under the ropes or in between them. So I think this one, I think we might be okay with it. I mean, they're making the announcement now, so I think the women can get in shape and practice and kind of practice and train at the Performance Center as well as before Raw and SmackDown live events to get the hang, or get the idea and the hang of the idea, if you will, of going over the top rope when eliminated. So, but overall, like I said, I'm happy for the women of WWE, and like I said, WWE has the options to have two great options depending on what direction they want to go in as far as participants, number of participants in the match. So let me know what you guys think down below. I got to get back into work, and I'll talk to y'all later.